Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for Politically Incorrect Knitters. I'm Deplorable Knitter, and we are joined as always by the lovely Anne Pinkova. Hi Anne.
And every time Molly barks, like she gets surprised.
And we've been talking the whole time, but just when we do that, she gets surprised. It's so weird.
Exactly. I say hello, she's like, oh, someone must be here.
That's fun. So Anne was going to show us her absolutely gorgeous Hong Kong scarf, but
and then I lost
some sort of snafu.
I think I know where it is, but it's not with me currently, which is a really stupid place for a Hong Kong scarf to be. So unfortunately, though I have got some spinning done, so I can show that off later. But
sure.
So yeah.
We would love to see it. So if you've been watching us for any length of time, you know that I had a package that Tina from Owened Yarn and Fiber sent me in June. It's now August. I got it last week. It took somebody in my post office getting a person to go on a truck and find my package. Like they literally got somebody to go out and dig through a truck until they found it. So props to my mail people, but
good for them. Thanks for caring, guys.
I know. She's excellent.
On the truck?
Well, I don't know. They don't obviously go to my post office because otherwise they would have been on the truck getting those things too. Mm-hmm. But thank goodness that I have my mail lady because she's excellent. So Tina and I are doing a collaboration. This pattern is probably going to be out end of the month or so. But these are my lovely yarns. This one is just her plain base. I believe she calls it tapioca because it's, you know, like a whitish, tannish. So we got that. And then this is her beautiful dog whistle. And it's green and it's different greens and pinks, and super, super excited about that.
That is absolutely stunning.
And she actually sent me 2 skeins of each, but what happened is that I showed it to my mother and then she promptly took a skein of each one, and she's knitting part of the pattern for me also. So I only have 2 skeins to show you because the other have been, you know, confiscated by my mother, which is normal in my house.
You know.
And then I got another yarn from her, and this one came right away. Mm-hmm. And it had originally been for my police hats that I was making, but unfortunately it didn't want to have words on it because of how it's dyed. This is her thin blue line yarn. So it's currently hanging out with its yarn buddies back there, thinking about what it's going to be now. So, but it's like her yarn is so like, I just want to hug it and stuff. It's all soft and smushy and happy, and so that's pretty thrilling.
And pet it and tell it it's a good yarn.
Oh, it's so pretty. Exactly. So they're gorgeous. Her yarn is gorgeous. Her yarn is gorgeous, just in case anybody wanted to know, because it's fabulous. I love it. So there's that.
She was pretty sick this past week too, so
yeah. I guess if you've got an order out there and you haven't gotten it yet, she was really sick, and then something weird happened to her eye, and so she's been having a rough week or two. Mm-hmm. Just so you guys know.
Tina's pretty game though. She's tough.
Yeah. She works through it for the most part, so that's good. But also this weekend, my warrior knit along started. So I know I've showed these to you guys before, but if you're gonna participate in the knit along, there's the cowl pattern. Here's 2 of our done cowls. So lovely. And then here we have a hat, And I just want to note that this is not the final pattern for the hat. So if you do purchase the pattern, it's not exactly like this one.
Right.
This one was done, and then we looked around at it and said, it can be better. And so it's been changed some. But there's also an option in the patterns, instead of having any words, to just have the ribbons. So that's that. And this is a lovely sample that was knit by my mother, because sometimes I have to do like the business stuff, like the pattern writing and the organizing Facebook, and I don't get to actually knit as much as I would like, which is a little bit of a bummer. But I have a sample knitter, so that kind of is pretty excellent too. So if you want to join the Warrior Knit Along, there's a Facebook group, and you can also use the hashtag on Instagram, WarriorKAL, for the Knit Along. So exciting stuff. And then I have one more thing to show you. It just came in the mail right this minute before we got on here. If you are one of the people who ordered a bag, I got the first shipment in, and blue was a little bit more popular than red. I've got a bajillion of those, and not quite as many of the reds. But so those are going out this week, and that's pretty thrilling stuff too.
That is awesome. That is very exciting.
And I had ordered a couple extra for myself, and I want to send one to my tech editor because she's really excellent, and she won't let me pay her actually. So I figured if I sent her a bag, she can't tell me no. So but I got so many orders, I might have to wait till the next round to do that, because I don't even think I'm going to get to keep one at this rate, which is not a bad thing.
Oh, that is excellent.
It's pretty exciting stuff. So that's what's been happening here. Do you want to show us your spinning, Anne?
Oh, sure. So
it looks lovely.
Just nothing. No, so something that DK and I have been talking about is we got our submission in for the Fuller Craft Museum this past week, and both of us are just wiped. And there's no reason that, at least I feel like I shouldn't really be wiped, because my knitting, I finished it up, and then it was just getting the writing up for the submission form, which I've never done a museum submission before. So I'm just like nervous the whole time. Is this even what they're asking when they say that you have to have these, have to give dimensions and weight and how it's supposed to be set up in a museum and a picture and everything? I'm like, and artist bio and stuff like that. Like, is this even right? I don't know if it's even right. What's happening? And so doing all this, I got the submission in, and then like days afterwards, I'm like, blah, like
seriously.
Yeah,
it was exhausting. There's something really, really like mentally. I like slept for Saturday and Sunday. Like I took naps and I went to bed early, and I don't know. I think a lot of it was the submission, because it is nerve-wracking. And I don't know about you, but I never expected to ever be in the position to be submitting my things to anything like that. Like right. I knit, but I never thought somebody would be like, hey, we're doing a show and you should be, what?
Right. Well, it's like for several years, one of my uncles does wood carving for state fairs, and just incredible work. But he's always looked over at my knitting like, oh yeah, you should totally put your knitting in for county and state fairs, that it would do really well, and you should do that. And I've always been like, oh, that would be really nice. I'd like to earn a blue ribbon, or consequently probably not earn a blue ribbon and finally get myself knocked down a couple of pegs, because I need that in my life, like legitimately. But like, oh, this is lovely. Actually, it's crap, Anne. I knew it. But I'd like to do well. Hopefully, I'd like to have a standard to strive against, I guess, kind of is what I'm saying. But that would be really cool. But every time I'm like, oh, I should submit my work, and then I get really nervous, and I wonder what, again, the whole form thing totally throws me off, and I shouldn't let it, but it does. So that's sort of a, oh, well, maybe I should have done the state fair first.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a fiber festival in my area, and I always look at the submissions for that, and I think, oh, someone, I mean, they might not want some of my stuff in it. but I do. I look at it and I go, like I don't knit lace shawls and things, but my color work is pretty on point most of the time. And I think, maybe I should throw something in there. And then I'm like, I don't know. It's like so intimidating.
Yeah. Well, you could definitely throw in the warrior or survivor cowl in there. Be like, yeah, I do stuff.
Yeah, I do stuff that's not just political.
Yeah. But
But
yeah, so and while we still have the quilt to do, like so when I took pictures for the submissions, I have no respect for my drywall, basically, and I just took straight pins and pinned them to the wall for the pictures. And like I have I won't move the camera, but I had put the sweater up to the wall and I had it hanging, and I pinned 3 hats above it, which I think I have a picture on my Instagram of that. But so the 3 hats are still pinned to my wall above my pictures, for a little knitted art. And on the other wall, I have the 3 quilt squares just pinned, and they're stretched like it's animal skins. So they should probably come down sometime, but it was a blank wall anyways, and it might as well.
yeah, that's funny. And I was just gonna say, I was so tired. I should have been knitting another square or several since I'm still behind you. But instead I took naps. I took a lot of naps. And I read like 3 books. But that's how I recover after that kind of stuff. Like when I push to get a pattern out or I have a deadline, then I won't look at any knitting for several days. And I usually read at least 1 book, usually several though, before I come back to the real world and get back to what I need to do. So.
Right. And with me, it was very like, yeah, we need to get more quilt squares out. It's not finished. The submission is supposed to come back in the fall, and then I go, oh, fall, that's a lot of time. It's August. It's not really. It's
not as long as it seems.
Right. So, yeah. So it's like, oh, I should do that. And then the first thing I do is, I started a shawl. Then I pulled out a shawl and I started a shawl again. There's a lady who I work with who has been getting on me because she wants an adult size baby Yoda hat with ears. And it's her birthday this week and I should really get on that. And have I? No. Well, I've been knitting for the submission to begin with, but also, oh yeah, I'm sure I could figure it out. What's ears to hat? Nothing. And then I'm just sitting here like, yeah, I don't want to work on that. That would be terrible. So then I just sit around and spin, because you don't need to think of a pattern when you're spinning. You just spin it and hope it'll be useful to you later. And keep going.
Exactly.
But yeah, so for my spinning, so I don't even know what this is. See, focus, not focus, focus, maybe not. I don't know if it's very visible. So anyways, it's hand spun, it's blue, it's green, it's fuzzy. Did it on a supported spindle, if that's important, because I was totally seduced by this beautiful supported spindle that I saw on Etsy. And, I'm like, no matter what, I'm figuring out how to use this thing. And it's not very good, but it's there. Yay!
I have no idea what a supported spindle is.
Ooh, I could show it to you if you like.
That would be super, because I have no idea.
Okay.
I have a spindle my mom gave me, and I've never once tried to use it. I probably should.
So when it comes to spinning, so we have our regular spinning wheel spinning, which is still my favorite. And then we have drop spindle. You have the yarn, there's a hook, it comes down, spins. Yeah, like you have.
Is this a drop spindle too?
Yes.
I've never actually used this thing, but I have one.
There you go. It's awesome. And it looks like one of those that breaks down too. So
it does this.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what the point is, but maybe Anne can give me a lesson at some point in time. So I have that. Just, I wanted to show you, and you maybe you can teach me the zen of spinning. So.
Well, and that looks like one. I'm not sure if it is, but if you sticks there, and you wind the ball around the sticks. So then when you pull out the top and pull out the sides, then you're already in a ball.
Oh, so it's already ready to go.
Yeah, because
cool.
which is really nice, because if you're winding it on a stick, then you have to unwind it and
So when you spin on that one, you wind it around as you spin?
Yep. And I've actually never used this drop spindle. I just grabbed it because, to show, but it's nice. It's literally made out of a chopstick. Got it at a fair.
Cool.
Yeah. So there's that. But the supported spindle, it's really big in Russia to begin with. But so
we know how you feel about Russia, so.
Well,
isn't that where your favorite knitter is from?
See, Russia, I'm highly competitive because on one hand, there is a lot of just knitting excellence in Russia. Just incredible work. Very, very wearable while being very intricate. It's a fine line and it's so good. And I've often joked before that when I see that quality of knitting excellence in Russia, that first of all, I want to hold myself to that kind of a knitting standard, but also that, it's kind of like one of my implausible life goals is miracle on ice, but with knitting. That, like I want, the whole democratic home, or yes, you'd say democratic home team to beat Russia in the knitting world somehow, somewhere. I'm not sure where or how. But then who knew that you'd be fighting the commies at the home front? Lame. Curse you, Ravelry, and your stupid... Anyways, apart from that. Who knew...
Oh my gosh.
It's all fun and games when you're joking about knitting being political, and then it actually becomes political, and you're like, actually, this isn't fun. Like I thought it would be.
It's not as funny as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I get that.
Not actually having a good time here. I mean, I am, but, I wish it wasn't so serious while I was having a good time. Apart from that. So supported spindle, some people have like little cups and teacups and stuff. But instead of having the yarn hang from the top, your weight is supported and you spin it from there.
Okay.
So yeah, so you can spin much finer is the thing. If you don't, because a spinning wheel will tug your yarn in depending on your tension and everything, but it will tug your yarn in. So if it's ultra fine, it'll snap. And from a drop spindle, you have the entire weight of the spindle hanging off it. So there's no weight on this. So that's why a supported spindle is different.
That's interesting. I have never even heard of those. I'm not really into spinning. Like I've tried, my mom loves to spin. She's got a wheel. She has taught one of my kids how to do it. And every time I try, I'm just like, yeah, I don't have time for this. I could be knitting.
Well,
terrible.
No, I think I've said before that the entire reason that I learned to spin is because I loved working with hand spun wool, and that's not cheap. And
yeah.
I mean, also like, okay, I want to work with really quality wool, and it's not always cost effective, but the idea of like, okay, what costs can be saved for trading with time, if it's just my time working on it versus anything else. And yeah.
Well, and it seems like something like that, if you're going to sit down and watch, Mark Stein or Nigel or all those things that you like to do, you might as well sit there and spin. I mean, if you're already doing something else anyway.
Exactly. I mean, I'm behind on Stein. I feel really bad. This I finished up. It was on the wheel, but I finished up while I was spinning and plied it and stuff. So it's brown.
It's pretty.
It's like 3 shades redder than my hair color. It's kind of weird. kind of working it like, it's like working with my own hair. You know, it's a little funky.
So is it a natural undyed
Yeah,
one? Yeah,
I believe so.
it looks like it is that color.
Yeah. And it's pretty even too. Not that it couldn't be even if it was dyed. But, and then third spinning thing, because like I said, I've been stressed. No reason. But I have this guy I just grabbed from the spinning wheel.
Cool.
It's from an actual like yarn dye place. But yeah, it's I don't know if the colors are coming in well, but it's from the Woolly Cabin. It's called Starry Night. It's pretty nice.
It's cool. I like it.
Yeah. Thinking of more Van Gogh. Like we had Joanna on, last week talking about her Van Gogh stuff. Like, no, really, I'm into this. It's kind of my jam.
The things that make you happy, Anne.
I apologize, audience. We're a little iffy today.
We're not iffy. We just no, there was seriously something about, so for me last week I had the submissions. My husband and I also made the final decision to homeschool the kids. So I was, on top of worrying about my submission, I was immersed in like curriculum choices. I had to write a letter to their school superintendent. I had to, now I'm researching how to properly do their home learning plan. And then at the end of the week, the submissions were due on the 1st, so that was Saturday. And then also on Friday and Saturday, we had a family yard sale. So I spent 2 days sitting outside with our stuff. So like just by the time the homeschool stuff and the submissions and the yard sale, I was just done. I have not done anything. It's been terrible. Like we've been lucky to eat like real cooked meals and things. Like that's about what I was able to manage. I was telling Anne yesterday, we had a pajama day. Nobody did anything in this house. Well, except my husband, who still had to work, but the rest of us were just like totally chilling because sometimes you need to.
Right. Yeah. And for, let's see, August 1st, wake up in the morning, let the dogs out, and oh, there's a nip of cold in the air. This isn't usual for August, but also, does this mean early winter? Oh no, not again.
It's been cool here too. Like I've got a fan on and I'm actually chilly today.
Huh.
Like it's only in the 70s and it's dreary and we have a front coming through or something. I have no idea.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know.
So this proves how much I pay attention. Isn't there like a storm in your area or like moving up the coast or?
Yeah, there was a hurricane.
Uh-huh.
It was not that close to me. It did go through.
Right.
Caused a lot of tornadoes. Trees and things fell down. Houses were broken. It was not cool.
Bad time.
But,
bad bio.
Yeah, but that passed. So, but this could be some of it. The cold and the rain and how those outer edges kind of hang around.
Right.
But I don't know. So I mentioned that we're going to homeschool, and this week on the news, they were talking about, so it's a big deal. The schools have been making their plans and they've been trying to figure out what's going to happen for opening. And a lot of schools are coming out with these hybrid plans where like kids go to school Monday, Wednesday, and then they learn from home 3 days. And then the next week they go Tuesday, Thursday and learn from home. And like all of these plans are being made. And then on Monday, the governor said, well, the schools are supposed to be COVID testing. And so I'm thinking, it's been mentioned before, I live in a blue state.
Right.
And I'm thinking that the governors of a lot of these blue states are trying to make it so schools cannot open.
Right. And also, let's make it miserable. When did schools, I mean, not that I mean, whatever testing that you have, why do the schools own the kids' health? Like, there's no individual, like, parents have the, that it's parents' responsibility for the health of their kids. No, that's kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. On the news today, a superintendent of a local district was saying, we're not equipped to test these kids.
Mm-hmm.
Our nurses are more to triage and identify potential illness and, help the family then to do that kind of testing.
Right.
And it's the fact of the matter is that they're not equipped to do that. And I think that they're just making it hard to open. I think that you're going to see in the next few months, all of these blue states making it hard for people to live their lives because of the election. Because as long as they can keep us down, they have better chances. Because if the economy sucks, they have better chances.
Right. And even with different COVID mandates going on, it is very much a, do what we say and the suffering will be less. I know it sounds a bit conspiratorial, but it's the way that people are enforcing even the mask mandates. It's sort of like it's like you're afraid for yourself being called and harassed out for it. But there is this particular little like ire about other people who aren't following the mask mandate. And part of it is people are genuinely concerned for their health, but the logic of it doesn't entirely play out about concern for your own health. If you're concerned for your own health and you see someone 20 feet away and they're not wearing a mask, then why would you care? Because it's 20 feet away.
Stay 20 feet away from them and you're fine.
And you're like, oh, well, you're over there and I'm over here and, I'm just not going to walk by you. But it is a particular, like, I am complying, you must therefore comply. There's a particular, if you don't comply, they're going to get us all, not get us. I don't know how to explain that. Like, I feel as if I am also going to get in trouble for your non-compliance. Like that kind of an edge to it, which is weird.
Well, they're using but they're trying to make it so that people are scared. Mm-hmm. They're scared of people who don't wear masks. They're scared of this virus. They're ruling through fear. Mm-hmm. Because people are, it's easy to be worried about something like that. It's easy to be concerned for your health and the health of people you love. But they're just trying to, speaking of senile people, I was in the store the other day and I sneezed under my mask and I'm like, oh my God, is somebody going to say something to me? Because the mask makes me sneeze. When I put it on, my nose gets like tickly and stuff. And then I'm like, I don't know if it's a little bit of allergy, something going on, but yeah, someday somebody's going to be like, you've got the COVID, and I'm going to get in trouble and kicked out of a store. I'm sure it's going to happen.
God.
But speaking of people who are senile, what do you think about Mr. Biden?
Oh, Mr. Biden been crazy for a long time. It's just getting crazier.
Honest to God, I feel bad for the man. I feel seriously bad for him. I don't know if you saw the video recently of him like being led around like a small child. Like it just...
I heard about it, yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand how his family can allow that to happen, for one thing. What is wrong with them?
You mean his family, as in his son, Hunter Biden, who is getting all that sweet, sweet Chinese and Ukrainian money for doing absolutely nothing?
Okay, so you've got a point there. I suppose if you were making millions of dollars for not doing anything.
If Biden becomes president, Hunter, who is already in the money, is extra in the money. If you can get that many millions for just being the useless son of a vice president, whew, How can you get that job? Because I too can spend useless money. And I'm not even a crackhead. So I could, it would be great. I could do so much more. And so we could do a deal. Except not
Okay,
real.
so I didn't think about his kids and their,
Because
everybody knows of Hunter.
everyone knows about Hunter. Which is also like, oh, that crazy kid Hunter. Yeah, he's not so young. I don't think that Biden can really be the candidate. At the same time, at this point in a presidential race, you can't really change a candidate. How is that going to work?
I really think that they are going to like do the 25th Amendment, where he gets in and then they say he's not fit to be president. And then if he gets in, then
Right.
his vice president would be in charge.
Yeah.
I think that it's really like going to matter who he picks.
Right.
But I don't know.
So whoever, there's always the thing, well, that we've had for the past several political candidates. I mean, we've had people saying this for Trump. We've had people saying this for Obama. And I mean, for Biden, the whole thing of, oh, well, are you ultra smart or are you so stupid to destroy our country this way? And again, said on both political sides, that the sort of like, oh, well, Trump's not really smart. No, he's really dumb, but must be someone behind him. And people said that for Obama too, with all the things that he did. But that's sort of so who really is the man behind the curtain for Biden? But for someone who is so visibly senile, how could there not be? Who's running this show, really? There's a lot of questions there.
There is a lot of questions there. And I just heard, I don't know, I think it was this week that they started saying that he shouldn't debate Trump. And they're saying that they shouldn't debate Trump because Trump is a liar. So.
Right. It's like, first of all, it would be too good for television. Like, it'd just explode.
Gosh.
Who is not?
Yeah. Well, he can't debate Trump because he would have to be off the cuff. He wouldn't be able to read off a teleprompter.
Yeah, and he's bad enough, like even the primary debates, he had some real winning lines from there. Like,
gosh, some of the stuff he said lately has just been nutty. But
not just corn pop anymore.
But if everything that Trump says is a lie and that's why he shouldn't debate him, then I have this really novel idea. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Come with facts and truth, and then you can debate the liar.
What?
What do you think of that?
Wow, that'd be insane. I don't know.
You don't know? You don't think that'll work?
It might be crazy, but maybe that is what Trump has been doing this whole time.
But he's such a liar and a racist.
Oh, whoa. So racist that, unemployment was good before COVID and prison reform. And he's recently signing executive orders and getting stuff done with human trafficking. Thanks, not Obama. What did Obama do for human trafficking? I don't know. Let it thrive. What a jerk. When Michelle was all doe-eyed with our bring back our girls hashtag. Yeah, how many girls he saved, Shelley? Like, dude, what? And then Trump's coming in. Trump is human trafficking shelters and resources and getting it shut down. And ICE, a lot of what ICE does is shut down human trafficking because a lot of human trafficking happens over our southern border. Oh, Democrats are standing there, abolish ICE, abolish ICE. ICE are racists and enforcers. And I'm like, well, who's stopping human trafficking? Because it's not you.
Yeah. And let's just let everybody pour over our borders. Let's not have any rules or regulations, or we don't need any of that stuff. But the thing that kills me more than anything, I just looked up Joe Biden because I know about him, but it also says that he was in the US Senate from 1973 to 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Why does anybody want him?
Yeah.
He was in the Senate for 40 years and he didn't do anything.
Well, and the things he did, well, no one's talking about the things he did, like totally mess up how credit cards work on a federal level and making it harder to get so prison reform that Trump is doing, guess why? Because of what Biden did. Really, really messed things up for a lot of people. Like,
yeah. It just really, I don't know. They'll say anything they can to make Trump look bad. And then all these people who are like, oh, he's such a bad guy and a bad, you've got Pelosi and Schumer and Biden who have been like twice as long as you've been alive. They've been in Congress.
Right. They've been in Congress hanging around with literal KKK members like Bird and all those people. Like, oh, hi.
Yeah. I don't know. This stuff just kills me, Anne. I don't.
Yeah, no.
Do you ever feel like you're in the Twilight Zone, like watching this? Do you ever feel like, how can so many people be duped?
I know it. The sort of wake up in the morning. I believe Scott Adams, who does the Dilbert cartoons, he has a podcast, and a lot of people quote his line in the podcast about how it's like you have two groups of people who are watching two separate movies and then trying to talk to each other about it. That you have Republicans are watching this movie and Democrats are watching this movie, and it's totally separate narratives. The Republicans are over here and they're concerned because they're literally burning Bibles in Portland. Little Germany 1936 for you. Like, this is going to end well. And on the other hand, the Democrats are talking about police brutality, and they're talking about, we've mentioned already, they're going for justice for Breonna Taylor and stuff like that. And on the Republican side, we're like, hang on, that's not how the case went down. And no justice, no peace. And it's two totally different narratives, and they're not meeting together. One hopes that they will. But for example, with election fraud, you have the Republican side who is very like, whoa, mail-in ballots are terrible. There's, I think already within the past few years, it was some outrageous number, like 1,000 cases of, identifiable voter fraud in different mail-in ballots cases throughout the country. And at the other hand, you have Democrats saying, oh, Trump doesn't want mail-in ballots because he wants to keep people from polling places, and that's how he's going to stack the election and stuff like that. So you have that cognitive dissonance between the two. Like,
right. Well, and think about it. In all these blue states, they're not opening schools, they're not opening places, and you don't think the election has something to do with it? Yeah. If it's not safe for us to go wherever, to school, to college, to your job, if you're still working from home, well, then it's not safe for you to go to the polling place. You must vote by mail. Like they're trying to get this whole thing going on.
Yeah, and it's really putting a hurt on people, which is how much pain can you cause the citizens of your nation? Like how much are you going to do? How many businesses are you going to destroy? How much loneliness. And there was a lady who it's just a local story of a woman who's a high school teacher, talking about how she has never heard of so many young people have suicidal thoughts than they have in this past year. Like, that's not nothing. That's not, oh, well, I know I'm always talking about the great state of South Dakota, And I should probably stop because, you know, I'm like those people who are from Texas and they're from Texas and they tell you about Texas constantly and it's really annoying. And I try not to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy a little bit. And ooh, I see you're knitting something.
Oh, I'm just casting on. I have a hat I made in February, something like that. And people have asked me about it. I posted it on Instagram, so I'm going to reknit it, and then there might be a pattern.
Cool.
But I have this super fuzzy loops and threads, chunky, and so it's like a mock cable hat, and I might just whip that up. We'll see. I have enough to make a cowl to match it, I think. But since your internet cut out,
might knit a hat later.
What'd you say?
IDK might knit a hat later.
Yeah, but when your internet cut out, I had been looking at the skein. It was right here, so I went and found some knitting needles, and
Right.
These things. It's how my brain works. I haven't knit anything in like a week and a half either, so.
And you're like, no, I need to knit something right now.
But this might be a good place to start. A nice, chunky, pretty quick. You know what I mean? Get myself going again.
Right.
Especially since I kind of feel like I could still take a nap. I hope that this lethargy lifts soon. I mean, can't live like this forever. I mean, I could, but it would not be cool.
No. You have more knitting to do.
God, I have so much more knitting to do. Although now that the submissions are done, I really feel a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
It is nice. And I'm sure you saw that, you know, how you have the blue hat, that somebody stole your idea and made a whole mural.
I saw that. I thought that was so cool. And they didn't steal my idea.
I know. You're like, I go get you for copyright violation. My knitting pattern is now
No, I was thrilled to see that, honestly. I mean, things have been so crap lately and everything's against the police. And this one thing I saw on Instagram this week was that people are like, oh, you hate protesters who are black or brown, even if they're being, peaceful, you still do all this stuff against them. And I'm like, I haven't seen a ton of peaceful protesting. Actually, when you were talking about the Bibles, I wanted to mention that. Like, I'm for protest. I think protesting is good. I think that it might be time for people to start protesting some of these blue state mask mandates and things we have going on. But I'm pretty sure we can do it without burning something down.
Yeah. It's especially since it's been mentioned that the Tea Party protests, that they are the gold standard for protests back in the Obama era because they left like public parks and places cleaner than when they started. Like they picked up not just their litter, but all the litter, and everyone was polite.
Yeah, it kills me. And then you see all these, environmentalists who leave like trash and graffiti and everything where they were. Super nice taking care of things, people.
Yeah, also in the lovely state of South Dakota, those Keystone Pipeline protests led by celebrities and morons. Yeah. It's just not going to mince that one because it's dumb. Also, that it's for protesting because the pipeline goes over, sacred ground and everything. There are hundreds of pipelines across America and the world, and you're going to protest this one. And again, the amount of just trash that they left behind, it was very CHOP-like. There was just, dumpster fire, the whole thing. No, it's bad. It's really bad. And especially since, again, this is more of a, you won't see this in many places, but those peaceful protesters, cops are not only getting fireworks thrown at them, but fireworks with nails in them. This isn't like oh, well, these are peaceful fireworks. What? Getting any,
Yes.
yeah, there's no, this isn't fun. This isn't nice. And that's one of the really excellent things about Trump being president, is that who else could move and shake this entire establishment, and who else would make people feel threatened enough that they are willing to tear it all down because they think they can rebuild it in their kind of own image.
But yeah, all the people have their hope pinned on Biden or his not named running mate, or I don't know. I don't know. I still am stuck on the how can you obviously see that he's so senile and not want to help him and not feel sorry for him and stuff. You know what I mean? Before we're done, do you want to hear the latest on Ravelry?
Yes. Actual knitting in our knitting show? What?
Hey, we already talked about knitting. I talked about yarn.
That's right.
And stuff. And look I am knitting. So.
You are knitting. You are knitting for realsies.
So last week, I believe, there's one person in particular who's been talking a lot about accessibility on the new Ravelry. Her name is Katie B. And I believe, from what I've read, she was a person of Ravelry. You know how they do on their homepage, like oh, look at so-and-so. This is a designer or a person who's made stuff, and they kind of like highlight. Mm-hmm. So they highlighted Katie, or Kate, or I'm Katie B. I don't know. I don't know her name, honestly, because I've only read Instagram stories. But Cassidy tweeted 2 weeks ago about how there's this one person who keeps causing all this ruckus and it's not true, and more or less called her a liar. So everybody is sticking up for her about that. Mm-hmm. And then Jess, Cassidy's wife, came out with a statement about, like, it's just really long blog posts. Like, I skimmed it. I don't even think I really read it because it was a lot of pandering and a lot of, but it comes down to the fact that, so a lot of people are happy with the website and some people are having difficulties with it. And she kind of glossed over the seizures, migraines, retinal bleeds that have happened, because most people are enjoying the site. So that's good.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't mean to laugh. It's not funny.
As long as your retinas don't bleed. I love it when I have a website and I don't have bleeding retinas. That's my favorite.
It is my favorite too. But so in this long post that she put out there, they pretty much threw Cassidy under the bus.
Wow.
They said that they're having some mental issues and that they were tweeting when they shouldn't have been, and they were sending out, so the tweet came and then Cassidy also sent out an email saying, like, we've had a doctor look at it and it's kind of like a mass hysteria thing and you're all liars. This is me glossing over it.
I think I saw something about that
yeah,
people are just spreading around that fake news, like,
yeah, it's like this big lie thing. And so then people are like, okay, so what doctor did you have look at it? Where's their findings? We want to see what they said.
Right.
Of course, crickets from Ravelry, because that's what they do.
Like,
they waited 6 weeks to put out anything. And then, people try to talk to them and then they're just back in their bunkers. I've heard that they've blocked everybody. Yeah. All of the people their accounts are private again, and they've gotten rid of tons of followers. And
yeah. And it's time and again with Ravelry, if you complain about what they did, it's your fault. It is the most creepy gaslighting, no, you did it, not me, and no accountability for anything that they've done to hurt or disrupt anybody and their business specifically. That a lot of people on Ravelry for the patterns, and people are trying to sell patterns. It's a business. And they don't care. They don't care about anyone's livelihood. It really is people's livelihood. And now it's also people's health. And
no, they don't care.
Terrible.
Well, and they don't care because think about it. They threw Cassidy under the bus. So apparently Cassidy is having mental health problems. Very sad.
Right.
But so this letter was sent out, this tweet was put out, and their response to all of it is Cassidy shouldn't have had the ability to do that. We've taken away her email.
Mm-hmm. Which is okay. So they must be acknowledging that this is some really dreadful leadership and has been for a while in order to take away someone.
They're not acknowledging that. No, just Cassidy has been having some mental issues and shouldn't have been able to send those letters. Well, if that's the case, though, then why didn't you take the email away sooner? Why did you wait until the email was sent and there was such an uproar about it, right? And so then all of the Ravelry people blocked everybody. All their accounts are private, everything. And apparently Cassidy's sister is now like bothering this KDB and like saying crap about these people on Twitter. And it's kind of like, the whole thing is just, I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm watching a soap opera when I hear what's going on. Like, what?
I know, but
are you kidding me?
It's the height of Mean Girls. It's like I thought we were mostly comprised of grown women on the internet, men also, but mostly women. Mm-hmm. And but no, we're not going to admit that something's wrong until weeks later. We're going to blame you for it, and then we're going to block everybody who doesn't agree with me, and then we're going to badmouth people who we don't like on Twitter.
Yeah, like, and then because you guys sent letters that are not going over the way you probably anticipated, now you've taken it and just thrown someone under the bus.
Yeah.
Hey, Cassidy, guess what? Because this happened, I mean, they very well might be having mental health issues and may not be in a mindset to be dealing with people, but why do you wait until after they send this letter to deal with it? Like, it just seems like it was a group thing, and then they took it away. Taking away the ability to communicate was kind of trying to save face thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, which is also bizarre, because why are we here? Well, because Cassidy and the staff of Ravelry, probably not just Cassidy, made a decision about throwing all people of a certain political persuasion, hello Trump people, totally under the bus. So I'd say that was a pretty bad decision. Maybe they should have had a little review on that one, a little. Maybe if they had more of a diversity of an opinion as opposed to diversity of outward appearance only, you could have maybe moved around that bad decision, but apparently not. Apparently it's all one thought system at Ravelry and Co. But there's no that previous bad decisions. But at this point, when we've actually upset people in the very liberal, ultra social justice mindset, that when they're mad at you too, then you're going to try to put the brakes on things. That's not. There's only so much face you can save now. People are bailing from Ravelry like
people
crazy.
Are bailing,
already bailing, but now it's worse.
I mean, I've seen screenshots online also, and I don't know how accurate the website that people are using is, but there was this worth of the web or something, and I guess like a year ago, Ravelry was worth like 15 million, and now it's down to like 6 million. Wow. So I don't know if that tells you anything.
I know projected worth. That's interesting though.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that works, so I'm not certain, but still. It's interesting to see a site that was worth a lot
Right.
now worth not nearly as much.
Yeah.
Some
That
interesting
is.
choices they've been making.
And I'm sure pure profit that they're having. I
Mhm.
mean, who can go on and, there's many designers who don't want their patterns on there because, again, physical harm caused to people from being on their website. It's crazy.
I don't know.
And no matter how many new cutesy graphics or putting image descriptions below their photos or talking about whatever new issue may come down the road is going to save them from a fundamentally bad way to run a business.
Well, I think that what they've proven is that what a lot of us, especially conservatives, already knew is that a lot of their inclusivity was very performative to appease a certain group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's really coming to bite them in the butt because when push comes to shove, they didn't fix the issue. And so, I don't know. Their true colors have come out. It's just interesting to watch it.
Yeah.
Dumpster fire.
Yep. They dug a ditch and they fell right in it.
Yep.
Every single time. And we will keep
What do you know
everyone
about
updated.
stuff? Yes, when we find out more, we will, as the dumpster fire continues, we will report on it.
We'll grab our little dumpster fire binoculars and we'll look over there.
Reporting live from my bedroom. I will tell you what's happening.
Okay.
So,
You and everybody on cable news. So it works.
You're right, it's true.
Live from my bedroom. Let me tell you what's going on in the world. I know. I read the internet.
Yeah, I was saying that to be funny, but no, it's really true. A lot of people are reporting live from there.
One day we'll have to go out there and do some live reporting on something. It'll be good. We should.
One day, when I take a trip to South Dakota, because I mean, we're homeschooling, it's a good excuse to like go see cool things that your state has.
Yeah.
We'll do one of these together in the same room, and I don't even know if we'll be able to keep it together. It'll be awesome.
It'll be hilarious. And we can do live reporting from the world's largest pheasant.
And the burger. Can we go see the burger?
Burger's on the other side of the state, but by Mount Rushmore. Well, so you can see Mount Rushmore and see the burger.
Right. And if I come and see Mount Rushmore and the burger, you can come too.
Okay.
I'll be fair.
For those of you who don't know, McDonald's ran a promotional a year or so back about it's the best McDonald's, whatever, and they had a giant bronze Big Mac was the winning.
Oh, that's why it was made?
That's why it was made. So
I didn't even realize that. That's funny.
Yes. So there's a McDonald's in Rapid City that has a giant bronze Big Mac statue because they won some sort of McDonald's contest.
Cool.
So we can go have our picture taken with the giant Big Mac.
Mm-hmm. And then the presidents, because, obviously.
Oh, yeah. You know them. George and T-Jeff and, Abe.
All right. Well, I think I'm out of things to talk about. Want to see this before we go?
Oh, yeah.
Can you see the little mock cable here or not really yet? Yeah. It's just a little ribby cable, chunky. Sometimes you need like a knit for people that you might like, but you might not like enough to spend 17 hours on a project. This is going to be one of those.
There you go.
I'm actually kind of thinking about some patterns for Christmas time. So you might, think of slouchy.
Does that mean that you're thinking about Christmas too?
Not like you are. I'm just trying to plan some patterns for, quick patterns for people to make.
That's right. Sorry, I've been getting on DK for a while because I'm planning a Christmas special and I'm excited about this idea. And she's like, it's August.
Well, I know we have to start planning, but it's just one of those things where I've had so much going on in my personal life right now that it's on Anne, because I've never really watched any YouTube anything. So I don't know anything about all these special, fabulous Christmas things that people do. So she's going to have to guide this one.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, I've been planning it. It's not as if I'm going to be like, oh, so I planned all these Christmas ideas, and also I think you should do them. Like,
well, no, I
we're
know
a
you're
team,
going to
but
do
we're
it,
not
but
like, yeah.
but yeah, you're going to have to guide me because I'm not big on the. Yeah, it's weird that we do this because I don't know much about YouTube or any of it, to tell you the honest truth.
It's my contribution to the team. I watch a lot of YouTube
Awesome.
videos.
I watch a lot of YouTube. Hey, it works.
Hey.
It works for us. So, yeah. I think we're good for today.
Next week is very exciting.
Yes, next week is very exciting. And if you want to make sure you don't miss it, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, do the stuff, because we have a guest. You're going to like it.
Next week on Politically Incorrect Knitters, we have Maria Tuscan, which is super exciting. Like, both
So
DK and I are
exciting.
like, we're over the moon. Like,
We're
all of our
pretty.
guests have been fabulous. But, I mean,
They are.
right, that, we're, the more hated people in the knitting world that we have on this show, the more my little cup runneth over. Like, I get really excited about this.
It is really exciting, and it's fun that these people want to spend their time talking to us. It's kind of overwhelming because every time a guest says yes, I kind of like do like this happy dance because it's just me and Anne hanging out in our houses talking about stuff, and people want to come talk to us, and it's so cool. Like, I never expected any of this nonsense to happen. I think that that's what makes it so thrilling. But yeah, so Maria Tuscan, it's pretty exciting.
I mean,
Yes,
I'm excited
so
about our
am I.
show every week, basically.
Yes.
It's just us. I'm excited.
And when I was talking about my knit along, I totally forgot to mention that I have had a couple of donations. So if you join the knit along, you'll be entered to win a couple prizes, which is fun stuff. There's going to be a skein of yarn from Lynn with Chicken Lady Fiber Arts, believe that's who she is. And I'm going to be hopefully getting that in the next couple of weeks so that I can start showing you guys so you can get excited about, possibly winning it. And then my grandpa, who supports everything I do, he is also offered to donate something. And so depending on what I have left when the orders go out, one of these will be a prize. So it's another reason to join the knit along. There's going to be a link in the description to the Facebook group. And as always, links to our shops in the description. So if you want to find anything that we talk about or, patterns, whatever, they'll be there. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. And have a good week, everyone.
See you next week.